A simp is a simp, and in the end, he ends up with nothing. I was cuckolded my whole life, and only realized this truth on my deathbed. Heaven has eyes, and let me be reborn. This time, I'll make my first love kneel, and watch me get rich and marry someone else. And watch her regret it bitterly. I died once. To be precise, I was killed by my own son. That day, I lay on the hospital bed, covered in tubes, without even the strength to raise my hand. My son walked into the ward, stood by my bed, glanced at me, then reached out and pulled off my oxygen mask. He said, "Dad, don't blame me. Blame yourself for not being my real father." He said, "Don't worry, when you die, I'll definitely help you guard the family business you built." He also said, "If you had handed the company over to me earlier, and hadn't been stupid enough to invest so much money in charity every year, you wouldn't have forced me to take action against you." I stared at him fiercely, wanting to speak, but my mouth opened for a long time, and only a few vague syllables came out. I refused to accept it. I couldn't believe this was real. I used my last bit of strength to look toward the door, and just then I saw my wife Chen Shanshan walk in. I thought she would save me. I reached out to her, reaching out with my dying breath. But she just stood at the foot of the bed, looking at me coldly, like looking at a dead dog. She said, "Lin Ziyang, go die. If my parents hadn't forced me to marry you, I would have been with Brother Yubei long ago. Apart from having some stinking money, what part of you can compare to Brother Yubei?" She also said, "But considering you raised the child for me and Brother Yubei, I'll give you a decent funeral when you die." At that moment, I understood everything. My whole life was a huge joke. The woman I loved with all my heart all my life had someone else in her heart. The son I treasured like a treasure didn't carry my blood. The family fortune I fought tooth and nail for ended up feeding someone else's offspring. As I breathed my last, I heard the celebratory laughter of the mother and son in the ward. Then I arrived at the palace of Yama. The king of hell flipped through the book of my life, his brows furrowing more and more. I knelt on the ground and wailed, asking him, "Your Majesty, they say good deeds are rewarded. I, Lin Ziyang, did good deeds all my life, building over 100 schools alone. Why did I end up like this? Where is the justice of heaven?" The king of hell put down the book, looked at me seriously, and said, "Lin Ziyang, you indeed have immeasurable merit. Now I give you two choices. 1. Be reborn into a wealthy and noble family and enjoy a lifetime of blessings. 2. Give you a chance to be reborn and rewrite your fate yourself. Additionally, considering your immeasurable merit, I'll give you an extra strength pill, a wisdom pill, and a storage space." I wiped my tears and chose the second path without hesitation. The king of hell waved his sleeve, and my consciousness suddenly plummeted, as if falling from a great height. When I opened my eyes again, standing before me was a young woman with 2 braids and a plaid dress. She looked at me with that familiar, calculating smile. It was Chen Shanshan, the young Chen Shanshan. I stood frozen, my head buzzing. The streets around me, the pedestrians' clothes, the slogans on the walls, all had the flavor of the 1970s. I really had come back, to the point before everything began. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Chen Shanshan stepped forward, softened her voice, and said, "Ziyang, you know, your family background isn't good, and my parents have always looked down on you. It's not that I don't like you. It's just that I had no choice but to not give you a chance. This time, as long as you give the job to my brother so he doesn't have to go to the countryside, my parents won't oppose us being together anymore." I stared at her face, and what flashed through my mind was the way she stood at the foot of the bed sneering before I died. In my previous life, on this very day, I gave the job to her brother Chen Jianxi to be with her. And what was the result? I lost my job and went to the countryside, where I starved until I was skin and bones. I couldn't bear to eat a bite of the game I hunted. I sent it all to her. I was an old ox, diligently pulling the mill for others all my life, only to be slaughtered for meat in the end. I stared at her for a long time without saying a word, and the smile on Chen Shanshan's face was about to falter. She reached out and tugged at my sleeve. "So, is it okay or not? Say something. Didn't you always say you liked me and wanted to date me? As long as you give the job to my brother, I'll date you today." I pulled my sleeve back and spat on the ground. "Chen Shanshan, are you taking me for a fool? A piece of trash like you is worth a job? You're dreaming." Chen Shanshan was completely stunned. Her eyes were wide open, looking at me as if she'd seen a ghost. She probably never dreamed that I, her loyal simp, would say such a thing one day. Her eyes reddened instantly, her lips trembled, and she pointed at me, saying, "Lin Ziyang, didn't you always say you liked me? You can't even part with a job for me? Is your love so worthless?" My voice was even louder than hers. "It's not that my feelings are worthless. It's that you, this rotten thing, are worthless. Chen Shanshan, I used to like you and support you, but now I don't like you anymore. You're nothing. The onlookers burst into laughter, pointing and whispering at her. Chen Shanshan's face flushed red. She gave me a vicious glare and left with the words, Lin Ziyang, don't regret this, then turned and ran out of sight. I watched her retreating figure and curled my lips into a cold smile. Regret? My biggest regret in my previous life was being her simp. In this life, I'll see what kind of good life she, Chen Shanshan, can have without me, Lin Ziyang. Suddenly, a heavy pat landed on my shoulder. I turned around and saw my childhood friend Shui Kai. He looked at me in shock, as if I were an alien. Brother, what's wrong with you today? Didn't you worship Lin Shanshan like an ancestor? How can you bear to scold her? I threw my arm around his shoulder, and my nose suddenly felt a bit sour. In my previous life, Shui Kai had reminded me more than once that Chen Shanshan wasn't a good woman. And later he even told me that Chen Shanshan was having an affair with Zhou Yubei. But back then, I was bewitched and instead turned against him, cutting off contact with him. When I was about to starve to death in the countryside, it was this brother who sent me things trip after trip. I really am a piece of garbage. I punched him hard in the chest. I used to have a problem in my head, but now I'm cured. Don't worry, I won't spend a single cent on that woman from now on. Shui Kai's eyes reddened, and he slapped me on the back. Good, good, good. Your brain has finally grown back. Come on, I'll treat you to a meal. Let's celebrate properly today. My treat. I stopped him. I was foolish before. This meal has to be on me. Shui Kai didn't stand on ceremony, and we headed straight to the state-owned restaurant. At the restaurant, I took out my wages and ration tickets and ordered 3 or 4 hearty dishes. In my previous life, I fed all my monthly wages to Chen Shanshan and couldn't bear to eat a bite of meat myself. My nutrition was poor, and I was as thin as a bamboo pole. Thinking about it now, I was really an idiot. When the dishes were served, I dug in with gusto. The pork in this era was truly fragrant. Free-range pork raised on grain, completely different from the fast-grown pork of later generations. A bowl of braised pork was glistening with oil, and one bite was so delicious I almost swallowed my tongue. Shui Kai saw my eating and laughed. Today, not only has your brain grown back, but your appetite has too. I urged him to eat quickly. As we were eating, sweating profusely, a young man pulled a girl and sat directly at our table. Waiter, bring 2 more sets of chopsticks. I looked up and saw, an old acquaintance, Chen Shanshan's younger brother, Chen Jianxi. This kid swaggered over with his girlfriend, sat down, and reached for my braised pork with his chopsticks. In my previous life, I had fawned over this kid a lot, hoping he would put in a good word for me with Chen Shanshan. He was used to taking advantage of me, and seeing I had ordered so many meat dishes, he didn't think twice about coming to freeload. Before his chopsticks touched the meat, I slapped them away with a loud crack. Get lost. Who the hell let you touch the chopsticks? Are you trying to rob me? Chen Jianxi's chopsticks fell on the table, and he was dumbfounded. He looked at his own hand, then at me, and the muscles in his face twitched twice. Having been humiliated like this in front of his girlfriend, he shot up from his seat, pointing at my nose and cursing, Lin Ziyang, what the hell do you think you are? I'm doing you a favor by eating your food. Don't be ungrateful. I slammed the table and stood up. Then don't do me any favors. I'd rather feed my stuff to a dog than give it to you. Get lost. Shui Kai, sitting nearby, watched with bright eyes and gave me a thumbs up. Chen Jianxi was so angry his mouth twisted, pointing at me and saying, Lin Ziyang, you just wait. I'm going to tell my sister about this. If you treat me like this, you'll never get to be with my sister. I kicked him in the stomach. Say whatever you want. I don't care about that bitch of a sister of yours anymore. If you point at me again, I'll beat you to death. Chen Jianxi staggered back several steps from my kick. He wanted to fight me, but was wary of Shui Kai sitting beside me. He gritted his teeth, left a wait, and dragged his girlfriend away in disgrace. Before leaving, he couldn't help but glance back at the braised pork on the table, his Adam's apple bobbing. I ignored him and sat down to continue eating. After the meal, I said to Shui Kai, come on, let's go to your place. Shui Kai was stunned. You go home and sleep. Why are you going to my place? To find your sister. Shui Kai immediately hugged his chest. Looking at me with a wary expression, Lin Ziyang, what are you going to do? Didn't you just stop chasing Chen Shanshan? Why are you thinking about my sister now? How old is she? Don't be a beast. I laughed in exasperation. What are you thinking? Am I that kind of person? Hard to say. Shui Kai's expression was serious. I want to talk business with your sister. Isn't she worried about not finding a job? I plan to sell my job to her. Shuekai's joking expression instantly disappeared, and he stared at me with wide eyes. You want to sell your job? Why? You're doing well. Why sell your job? I let out a breath and looked at him seriously. Shuekai, my parents and sister have been sent down to the countryside. I'm worried about them. I have to go to the countryside to take care of them. In my previous life, in order to chase Chen Shanshan, I cut off relations with my parents and kept my city job. But my parents suffered a lot in the countryside. And my sister Lin Ziyun was even tricked into marrying a hooligan. She was beaten so badly by domestic violence that she miscarried, lost her ability to have children, and eventually went mentally ill and was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. By the time I came to my senses, it was all too late. My parents both passed away within 2 years of returning to the city. In this life, I've been reborn, and there's only one thing I must do. Go to the countryside and protect them. After hearing my plan, Shuekai was silent for a moment, then nodded. All right, I won't stop you. Your job is an iron rice bowl. If you're willing to sell it to Fong Fong, our Shui family will remember this favor. Come on, let's go to my place. I'll have my parents give you a fair price. I followed Shui Kai to his home. When Uncle and Aunt Shui heard I wanted to sell my job, they were overjoyed. Shui Fong is 16 this year and hasn't found a job yet. If she delays any longer, the street committee will mobilize her to go to the countryside. Who could rest easy with a 16-year-old girl going to the countryside? The old couple immediately decided to pay 1,000 yuan to buy my job. An ordinary job would cost 600 to 800, but my position was in the machinery factory office with a formal establishment. And even with money, you couldn't buy it on the market. The old couple's offer of 1,000 was both a fair price and a way to acknowledge the favor. I didn't decline. I was about to go to the countryside soon, so I needed to keep more money on hand to take care of my family. Early the next morning, I, Shui Kai, and Shui Fong went to the factory to complete the handover procedures. When the office leader saw I was leaving, he shook his head and said it was a pity, saying I was capable and had planned to promote me. I could only smile and say I wouldn't continue, as I needed to take care of my parents. Coming out of the factory, Shui Fong was so happy she was hopping as she walked. Shui Kai stuffed a thick envelope into my hand. 1,000 yuan. Count it. I put it directly into my pocket. Count what? Don't I trust you? As we were talking, just as we reached the factory gate, a figure blocked my way. Chen Shanshan stood in front of me, wearing that familiar, aloof expression. She looked at me, chin slightly raised, as if granting me a great opportunity. Ziyang, I'll let go of what you did to Jianxi yesterday. I'm giving you one last chance today. If you give the job to my brother, I'll forgive you and agree to date you. She paused, then emphasized her tone. If you don't give up the job, I'll never talk to you again. Lin Ziyang stared at Chen Shanshan. In his previous life, how could he have been so blind as not to see how shameless this woman was? After letting go of Chen Shanshan in this life, Lin Ziyang finally noticed her flaws. Besides having a somewhat decent face, what else did she have? Greedy, selfish, and above all, treating him like a fool. Lin Ziyang put his hands in his pockets and looked at Chen Shanshan with disgust. Fine, then never talk to me again. Do you think I care if you talk to me? You're so noble, so proud. Please stay away from me from now on. Also, I've already sold my job, so you and Chen Jianxi can forget about it. After saying that, Lin Ziyang shoved past Chen Shanshan, who was blocking his way, and strode away. Chen Shanshan stood frozen, but Lin Ziyang's words exploded in her mind like a bombshell. What? Lin Ziyang sold his job? Then her brother's job would be gone. The way Lin Ziyang spoke just now didn't seem like he was lying, so it might be true. Chen Shanshan hurried to Lin Ziyang's original department to inquire, and the result was indeed that Lin Ziyang had sold his job. Chen Shanshan had been confident she could help her brother get a job slot. But now that Lin Ziyang had sold his job, where could she get one? Her parents had said that if she couldn't help her brother get a job slot, she would have to give up her temporary job. When that time came, she would have to go to the countryside in her brother's place. Thinking of this outcome, Chen Shanshan's steps became unsteady, wondering why Lin Ziyang, who had been such a devoted simp before, had suddenly stopped simping for her. Just as Lin Ziyang left the machinery factory gate, a ding suddenly sounded in his mind. He thought he was hallucinating, but then the voice in his mind continued. Congratulations, the King of Hell's reward has arrived. Please check it. This reward, Strength Pill, increases physical strength 100-fold. Wisdom Pill increases intelligence 100-fold and grants various scientific skills. Storage space, 10,000 square meters, with preservation function. Except for the owner, living beings cannot enter or exit. As the voice in his mind faded, 2 pills appeared in Lin Ziyang's hand out of thin air. Lin Ziyang vaguely remembered that after he made his choice, the King of Hell had said he would give him some rewards for rebirth. Holding the pills, Lin Ziyang swallowed them without a second thought. As the pills went down, Lin Ziyang felt his body undergo rapid changes. His body seemed to be filled with endless energy, and his mind became clear, with various academic data flooding into his mind. Feeling the changes in his body, Lin Ziyang quickly found a secluded corner and tried to enter the space. If he could have a portable storage space, life in this life would definitely not be difficult. Lin Ziyang silently recited "enter space," and the next second, he appeared in a vast, empty space. The 10,000 square meter space was large enough for Lin Ziyang to store all kinds of things he needed. After checking the space, Lin Ziyang excitedly came out. When it was time to go to the countryside, he could buy more supplies here, store them in the space, and bring them to the countryside. Lin Ziyang also went to the black market. When signing up for the countryside program later, Lin Ziyang would need to use connections to choose the place where his parents were sent down. Since he needed to use connections, he had to buy things. Although Lin Ziyang now had 1,000 yuan, he didn't have many ration tickets. Fortunately, yesterday was payday and he had just received his wages and tickets, which he hadn't yet given to Chen Shanshan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have a single ticket now. Lin Ziyang had received 2 jin of meat tickets yesterday, but he had used them all treating Shui Kai to a meal. Then there was 1 jin of sugar tickets, 2 industrial coupons, 3 chi of cloth tickets, 1 soap ticket, and 10 jin of grain tickets. The machinery factory was better than ordinary units, which was why Lin Ziyang could get so many tickets when he received his wages. If it had been another unit, the monthly tickets would have been even fewer. But these few tickets were not enough for going to the countryside. It would definitely not be enough for him, who also needed to give gifts. So Lin Ziyang had to make a trip to the black market to exchange for more coupons. Lin Ziyang had often bought coupons before to satisfy Chen Shanshan's various needs. So he knew the location of the black market in the capital city like the back of his hand. He went to find the black market dealer in the capital, a man known as Brother Hu, because Lin Ziyang often came to him to buy coupons. When Brother Hu saw Lin Ziyang coming again this time, he smiled and asked, "Young man, here to buy coupons again?" Lin Ziyang nodded. "Yes, Brother Hu. I need these coupons. I've listed them all out. Can you get them all together?" As he spoke, Lin Ziyang handed Brother Hu a small note with the coupons he needed and the quantities written on it. After looking at it, Brother Hu asked, "You need this many? What's up?" "Brother Hu, can't you get that many?" Brother Hu shook his head. "That's not it. I'm just curious why you suddenly need so many. You never bought much before." "Brother Hu, I'm about to go to the countryside, so I came to buy more coupons." Hearing Lin Ziyang's explanation, Brother Hu nodded in understanding. He had quite a few educated youths going to the countryside come to buy coupons. When you're away from home, having more coupons in hand gives you confidence. According to Lin Ziyang's list, Brother Hu gathered the coupons for him, but this time it also cost Lin Ziyang a lot of money, a total of 200 yuan for the coupons. After selling his job for 1,000, Lin Ziyang only had 800 left. Although he didn't have much money on hand, Lin Ziyang wasn't too worried. In his previous life, after going to the countryside, he had honed many skills, being skilled at catching fish in the river and hunting in the mountains. With the golden finger given by Lord Yan, he would definitely fare better in this life than the last. After exchanging the coupons, Lin Ziyang headed straight to the department store. Not only did he need to buy gifts, but he also needed to stock up on various supplies for the countryside. Lin Ziyang's parents had been sent to work in Liaoning province, where the winters in the northeast were the hardest to endure. The first supplies Lin Ziyang needed to stock up on were cotton-padded clothes and quilts. He also needed to buy an iron wok. In the capital, the supply was relatively sufficient. As long as you had industrial coupons, you could basically buy an iron wok. But at the place where he was going to the countryside, even with coupons, an iron wok might not be available. Iron woks were hard to come by then. Many families hadn't split up simply because they didn't have an iron wok for cooking. After going to the countryside, cigarettes, alcohol, and brown sugar were all hard currencies, so he needed to buy more of those too. Cigarettes, alcohol, and iron woks could all be bought with industrial coupons. Lin Ziyang planned to buy 4 cartons of cigarettes, 6 bottles of liquor, and 10 jin of brown sugar, milk powder, malted milk, fruit candy, and white rabbit creamy candy. Lin Ziyang bought some of each. Canned goods, red dates, meat, cloth. Because he wanted to buy quite a lot, Lin Ziyang also made a list and purchased according to the list to avoid missing anything. Unexpectedly, after arriving at the department store, as luck would have it, he ran into Chen Jianxi again. Chen Jianxi was again out shopping with his girlfriend. At that time, the best place for shopping in the capital was the department store. Chen Jianxi's girlfriend, Li, took a fancy to a hair clip and asked the sales clerk, "Comrade, how much is this hair clip?" The sales clerk glanced at the hair clip, 5 yuan each. Li was tempted and looked at Chen Jianxi. "Jianxi, buy one for me." Hearing Li's request, Chen Jianxi showed a look of embarrassment. He didn't have a job, so how could he have money in his pocket? Didn't we agree to just look and not buy? Li's face showed displeasure. "Jianxi, but I really like it. Can't you buy it for me?" The sales clerk chimed in. "Comrade, your girlfriend is so pretty. She'd look even better with this hair clip. You're a grown man. It's only 5 yuan. You're not going to be stingy about buying it for your girlfriend, are you?" Hearing this, Chen Jianxi felt even more embarrassed as he touched his empty pockets. It wasn't that he didn't want to buy it. He simply had no money. But Chen Jianxi cared about face and couldn't say he had no money, nor could he say he was too stingy to buy it. Just as Chen Jianxi stood there awkwardly, he caught sight of a familiar figure. It was none other than Lin Ziyang. Seeing Lin Ziyang, Chen Jianxi looked at him like an ATM and immediately approached Lin Ziyang. "Give me 5 yuan. I need it urgently." Chen Jianxi had often asked Lin Ziyang for money before, and basically, as long as Lin Ziyang had it in his pocket, he would give it to him. Lin Ziyang sneered. "Chen Jianxi, what does your urgent need have to do with me? Am I your father or your mother to give you money?" Chen Jianxi was used to taking Lin Ziyang for granted, and now being rejected, he suddenly remembered that this person's attitude towards him had changed. If Lin Ziyang had spoken to him like this before, Chen Jianxi would have brought out his sister to threaten him. But yesterday's incident told him that bringing out his sister was useless. Helpless, Chen Jianxi had to soften his attitude and whispered in Lin Ziyang's ear, "Brother-in-law, I'm begging you, lend me 5 yuan, I'll pay you back later." Chen Jianxi thought that since he had called Lin Ziyang brother-in-law, he was giving him face. Lin Ziyang couldn't have stopped liking his sister so quickly. Since he called him brother-in-law, it meant he acknowledged their relationship, so Lin Ziyang would surely agree to give him the money. But contrary to Chen Jianxi's expectations, Lin Ziyang said sternly, "Who's your brother-in-law? Don't try to claim a relationship. Also, you don't even have a job. If you borrow 5 yuan from me, how will you pay me back?" As Lin Ziyang finished speaking, the sales clerk at the department store looked at Chen Jianxi and Li with disdain. "You two don't even have 5 yuan between you. Why are you shopping at the department store? If you can't afford it, don't come." After scolding them, the sales clerk snatched the hair clip from Li's hand. "If you can't afford it, don't look at it. If you damage it, how will you compensate?" Chen Jianxi and Li both wished they could crawl into a hole. Chen Jianxi glared at Lin Ziyang hatefully, thinking it was all his fault. He had deliberately taken the opportunity to humiliate him. Chen Jianxi clenched his fists until they cracked. Lin Ziyang, just wait. He would find someone to teach him a lesson later. Lin Ziyang completely ignored Chen Jianxi's glare and walked straight up to the sales clerk. "Comrade, I want an iron wok, 2 enamel mugs, 2 wash basins, for cartons of cigarettes, 6 bottles of liquor." Lin Ziyang rattled off a long list, and Chen Jianxi, listening nearby, felt even more uncomfortable. He had been mocked by the sales clerk for not being able to afford things. And then Lin Ziyang turned around and bought so much. Wasn't that deliberately slapping his face? To save face, Chen Jianxi deliberately said to the sales clerk, "Comrade, don't get him those things. He has no money. He definitely can't afford them." Previously, after Lin Ziyang got his monthly salary, he gave it all to Chen Shanshan and sent it to the Chen family. So he had no savings at all. Chen Jianxi knew this. Now Lin Ziyang was asking for so many things at once, which would cost at least 200 or 300 yuan. How could a poor guy like him come up with that much money at once? Hearing Chen Jianxi's words, the sales clerk also cast a doubtful look at Lin Ziyang. "Comrade, are you sure you can afford all these things? Otherwise, don't add to our workload." In front of the sales clerk and Chen Jianxi, Lin Ziyang pulled out a stack of money from his pocket and slapped it on the counter. "Is this enough?" Seeing Lin Ziyang produce so much money, the sales clerk immediately changed his attitude and quickly went to fetch the items for Lin Ziyang. Chen Jianxi looked at the stack of money Lin Ziyang had slapped down, and besides feeling his face burn with shame, he also felt envious. Lin Ziyang was actually this rich? If he had money, why couldn't he give him 5 yuan just now? "Lin Ziyang, where did you get all this money?" Chen Jianxi stared at the stack of money in Lin Ziyang's hand and demanded. Lin Ziyang just thought Chen Jianxi was simply crazy. Why should he explain where his money came from? "You want to control everything, even me? Do I need to explain to you where I got this money?" Who do you think you are? You. Chen Jianxi was about to die of anger, but he couldn't utter a word while pointing at Lin Ziyang. Finally, he left with a parting shot. Lin Ziyang, you're something else. I'll definitely tell my sister how you treated me. Lin Ziyang continued to lay into Chen Jianxi. Yes, I'm something else. At my age, I wouldn't go crying to someone like you do. Anyone would think you're still not weaned. Listen to your brother's advice. Go home now. A person who doesn't even have 5 cents in his pocket. If I were you, I wouldn't come out and make a fool of myself. After Lin Ziyang said this, several sales clerks in the department store were amused and laughed out loud. Chen Jianxi felt the ridicule from the sales clerks in the department store, and his face instantly turned red with embarrassment. Lin Ziyang, you just wait for me. I won't let you off easily. Chen Jianxi left with Li after making threats. Lin Ziyang didn't take Chen Jianxi's threats to heart at all. How much of a threat could a fool like Chen Jianxi pose to him? After the sales clerks finished laughing, they helped Lin Ziyang pack his things. Lin Ziyang paid the bill. This time he indeed spent a lot, using more than half of his ration tickets and spending 258 yuan and 36 cents. Seeing that Lin Ziyang was generous with his spending and likely came from a well-off family, the saleswoman asked an extra question. Young man, do you have a girlfriend? No girlfriend? I have a sister who looks about your age. How about I introduce you? Lin Ziyang quickly declined. Sister, thank you for your kindness, but to be honest, I'm planning to go to the countryside, so I don't intend to date for now. When the saleswoman heard that Lin Ziyang was going to the countryside, she immediately dropped the idea. After leaving the department store, Lin Ziyang found a secluded spot and put all the bags and packages he had bought into his space. Then he picked out 2 packs of Dakiaman cigarettes, 2 bottles of Wulianya liquor, 2 jean of brown sugar, and 1 jean of peach pastry. He put them in a red bag and headed towards a residential area. This time, Lin Ziyang went to the home of Feng Youguang, the director of the Educated Youth Office. He wanted to go to a place close to where his parents were sent down, so he needed to find connections. Without connections, he could only be assigned arbitrarily by the Educated Youth Office. The trend of giving gifts wasn't serious in those years, and there weren't many people like Lin Ziyang, so it was easy for him to handle things this way. Lin Ziyang arrived at Feng Youguang's house and knocked on the door. Soon, a middle-aged woman came to open it. Seeing a strange young man standing outside, the middle-aged woman asked, Comrade, who are you? Who are you looking for? Lin Ziyang put on a smile. Since he was asking for a favor, he had to show a good attitude. Sister, my name is Lin Ziyang. I'm here to see Director Feng. When the woman heard Lin Ziyang's address, her face also broke into a smile. Comrade, my son is older than you. You should call me Auntie. Why do you call me sister? Lin Ziyang pretended to look surprised. Really? Auntie, I really can't tell. I thought you were at most in your 20s. It must be said that Lin Ziyang's trick worked well. The middle-aged woman's smile grew even brighter after hearing his words, and she warmly invited him in. Comrade, have a seat for a moment. I'll go call your uncle. With that, the middle-aged woman went into the main room and shouted loudly towards the room. Old Feng, someone's here. Come out quickly. When Lin Ziyang heard the shout, he quickly rubbed his ears. He'd better find a gentle woman in the future. He couldn't handle a woman with such a loud voice. After a while, Lin Ziyang saw a middle-aged man come out. This man was Feng Youguang, the director of the Educated Youth Office. Feng Youguang glanced at Lin Ziyang, finding the young man unfamiliar. He hadn't seen him before and didn't know who he was. So Feng Youguang directly asked Lin Ziyang, Comrade, what can I do for you? Lin Ziyang didn't answer, but directly handed him the prepared gifts. Feng Youguang looked at what Lin Ziyang had brought, and his eyes immediately lit up. This young man in front of him was really generous. In these years, it was rare for someone to give 2 packs of cigarettes at once. Giving 1 pack was already considered good. The other things were also good items. Feng Youguang didn't accept them immediately, but said to Lin Ziyang, Comrade, you must be here to ask for my help, right? I'm just the director of the Educated Youth Office. At most, I can help you with matters related to going to the countryside. But if you don't have a job and refuse to go when your quota comes up, I might not be able to do anything about that. This is a national policy. All urban youth must respond to the call. Lin Ziyang shoved the things into Feng Youguang's hands. Director Feng, I definitely won't make things difficult for you. You should be able to help with my matter. I just want you to adjust my assigned location. This time I want to volunteer to go to the countryside, but I want to go to Anping County, Danyang City, Heilongjiang Province. I have relatives there, so I can have someone to look after me. After hearing what Lin Ziyang asked him to do, Feng Youguang accepted the gifts he handed over. This favor was indeed not difficult. It was just a matter of arranging the location for going to the countryside. Previously, others had also asked Feng Youguang to handle similar matters. It was just a small favor, but the other party had given him so many things, which made Feng Youguang a bit embarrassed. All right, I'll definitely handle this properly for you later. Seeing Feng Youguang agree, Lin Xiang hurriedly thanked him happily. The middle-aged woman was even more satisfied with Lin Xiang at this point. The young man was not only sweet-tongued, but also sincere. Comrade, since you've brought so many things, don't leave at noon. Stay and have a meal at your aunt's house. Since it was mealtime and Lin Xiang had brought so many things, their family naturally had to keep him for a meal. Lin Xiang politely declined, but couldn't resist the middle-aged woman's enthusiasm. Oh, comrade, if you don't stay for a meal, take back all the things you brought. It's just a small favor, not worth you bringing all this. Lin Xiang had no choice but to agree to stay. Coincidentally, he also wanted to build a closer relationship with Feng Youguang and ask him for another favor. The middle-aged woman went to the kitchen to prepare lunch, and Feng Youguang, seeing that Lin Xiang was a decent young man, chatted with him a bit more. After chatting, Feng Youguang appreciated the young man even more. The young man had a wide range of knowledge and seemed able to talk about anything. Comrade, I can see you're quite smart. It shouldn't be difficult for you to pass an exam for a job. There's no need to go to the countryside. Going to the countryside isn't as good as staying in the city. If possible, you should try to stay in the city. Feng Youguang really appreciated Lin Xiang, so he specifically mentioned this for his own good. Others might not know, but as the director of the Educated Youth Office, Feng Youguang knew too well about the situation in the countryside. Because they went to rural areas, the conditions were much worse than in the city, and basically few educated youths could adapt. After going to the countryside, these educated youths didn't really use their knowledge to support rural construction. Instead, like the rural people, they engaged in production and labor in the fields. How could educated youths raised in the city endure the heavy and hard farm work? So the educated youths who went to the countryside were all desperately trying to return to the city. But it was easy to go, yet hard to come back. A commune only had a few quotas for returning to the city each year. Lin Xiang knew that Feng Youguang was sincerely advising him, and he said gratefully, "Thank you for the reminder, Uncle Feng, but my situation is a bit special. To be honest, I come from a single-parent family. After my mother remarried, she gave birth to a younger brother for me, and she favors my younger brother. Even though I had a job, she insisted that I give it to my brother. When I refused, she would come to my workplace every day to harass me. I had no choice but to sell my job. Going to the countryside will at least give me some peace." Feng Youguang then looked at Lin Xiang with understanding, a hint of sympathy in his eyes. "Ah, Xiang, you've had a hard time too. If you need any help in the future, just tell your uncle, and I'll do my best to help." Lin Xiang was waiting for Feng Youguang to say this, so after he finished speaking, he smoothly added, "Uncle Feng, I do have another matter that I need your help with. My biological mother is biased. Since I was little, I've been bullied by my younger brother born later. Now that I've sold my job, his job can't be arranged. Could you arrange for him to go to the countryside? When he goes, please arrange a harsh place for him to temper him. After he suffers, his thinking will mature a bit, and at least he won't take things for granted like before." Having been the director of the Educated Youth Office for so many years, Feng Youguang was shrewd and naturally understood Lin Xiang's intention. Feng Youguang was still willing to stand up for this young man. So he agreed, "This is easy. What's your brother's name? I'll keep an eye out." Lin Xiang reported Chen Jianxi's name and home address. He wanted to set Chen Jianxi up. This kid not only had to go to the countryside in this life, but also to a harsh location. Although it was a lie made up by Lin Xiang, he believed Feng Youguang would not deliberately verify it. After having lunch at Feng Youguang's place, Lin Xiang went back. Feng Youguang told him to prepare, as he would have to go to the countryside in 3 days. During those 3 days, Lin Xiang had better get everything he needed for the countryside ready. The house was rented, so he still had to inform the landlady to collect the house in 3 days. He had almost finished buying what was needed, and now Lin Xiang was just waiting for the 3 days to pass before going to the countryside. On the way back, when passing through a small alley, Lin Xiang was suddenly blocked by a few thugs. One of them, a burly man with a scar on his face, stood in front of Lin Xiang, with a cigarette in his mouth, and said to Lin Xiang, "Kid, hand over your money and we'll let you go. If you don't cooperate, don't blame us for being rude." In the past, facing several thugs might have put some pressure on Lin Xiang. But after taking the strength pill, Lin Xiang could handle 100 at once, let alone a few thugs. Lin Xiang said coldly to the scar-faced man, "I have no money." "No money? How can you have no money? Kid, don't fool us. We got word in advance that you have money on you. If you're not willing to hand over the money, don't blame us for getting physical." As he said this, the scar-faced man moved closer to Lin Ziyang and deliberately bumped his shoulder. Lin Ziyang frowned slightly. Needless to say, someone must have leaked the information that he had money. As for who leaked it, the answer was obvious. The only ones who knew he had money and his home address were Shui Kai, Chen Shanshan, and Chen Jianxi. His good brother Shui Kai wouldn't betray him, so the answer was clear. It was most likely Chen Jianxi. That brat was the only one who hung around these people, and since Chen Jianxi had offended him today, he probably deliberately found someone to retaliate against him. Fine, very good. I haven't even dealt with him yet, and he's already asking for death. Who's going to make a move on whom is still uncertain. As he spoke, Lin Ziyang kicked the scar-faced man in the stomach. Go to hell. You're really asking for death. The scar-faced man was sent flying by Lin Ziyang's kick, and then fell heavily to the ground. The thugs behind the scar-faced man were all stunned. Lin Ziyang looked thin, but how could he have such strength? The power of that kick was too strong. Come on, aren't you all trying to fight me? Try it. As he spoke, Lin Ziyang cracked his knuckles. He just happened to want to test the power of the strength pill. When he kicked the scar-faced man earlier, he had held back his strength, so it wasn't satisfying enough. Seeing Lin Ziyang like this, the scar-faced man's thugs didn't dare to act rashly. Outmatched, the scar-faced man and his thugs planned to turn and flee. But how could Lin Ziyang give them the chance? Since they had targeted him, did they think he was a pushover? You want to leave now? It's not that easy. As he spoke, Lin Ziyang's fists went at them. 30 seconds later, all the scar-faced man's thugs were beaten to the ground, crying out in pain. Seeing that Lin Ziyang was still going to attack them, they quickly begged for mercy. Hero, we failed to recognize your greatness. It's our fault for provoking you. Please spare us. We won't dare again. Lin Ziyang looked at the begging men with a cold sneer on his lips. I can let you go, but you have to hand over all the money in your pockets. Hearing Lin Ziyang's demand, the men on the ground were stunned. They had come to rob, but this was the first time they had been robbed. While the men on the ground hesitated, Lin Ziyang gave each of them a kick. Hero, stop hitting us. We'll give you the money. With that, they all pulled out the money from their pockets. One even pulled out the money from his underwear, afraid that if he was too slow, he would get punched again. Lin Ziyang took the money with some disgust. It even smelled of urine. If it weren't for the fact that it didn't affect its use, he really didn't want to take it. The total amount these men handed over was 8 yuan and 50 cents. Seeing that 5 or 6 people only managed to scrape together 8 yuan and 50 cents, Lin Ziyang was so angry that he kicked them a few more times before leaving. After returning, Lin Ziyang first greeted the landlady and told her to collect the house in 3 days. At night, Lin Ziyang took advantage of the darkness and sneaked over to the Chen family's place. Since Chen Jianxi dared to set him up, Lin Ziyang naturally wouldn't let him off easy. When Lin Ziyang arrived at the Chen house, he quietly pried open the door latch and entered. With the space, Lin Ziyang wasn't worried about being exposed. At worst, he could go into the space. He sneaked into Chen Jianxi's room, first knocked him out with a club, then put him in a sack and prepared to leave. Just as he reached the door, Lin Ziyang thought, damn it, since I've come all this way, it would be a waste to leave empty-handed. Back then, the Chen family had sucked his blood. So what's wrong with taking some of their things now? Lin Ziyang searched room by room. Because of the space, Lin Ziyang didn't worry about making noise. With just a thought, everything silently entered his space. Except for Chen Shanshan and her parents who were asleep in bed, he didn't touch them. Everything else went into Lin Ziyang's space, including the Chen family's oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, pots, bowls, and pans. After finishing all this, looking at the empty house, Lin Ziyang left with satisfaction. After carrying Chen Jianxi away, Lin Ziyang gave him another beating and only stopped when he was satisfied. According to Lin Ziyang's idea, it would be best to break Chen Jianxi's arms and legs. But if he did that, Lin Ziyang was worried it would affect the kids going to the countryside. In comparison, it was better to let Chen Jianxi suffer in the countryside. After returning home, Lin Ziyang entered the space to count the things he had taken from the Chen family. He had to say his luck was good. He actually found 1,000 yuan in the wardrobe of Chen Shanshan's parents, along with some money and tickets. There wasn't much money in Chen Shanshan's wardrobe, but in total it added up to 25 yuan and 80 cents. There was also a watch belonging to Chen's father, a Shanghai brand. There was a bicycle, a bit old, about 60% new, but it was a Phoenix brand, and its performance was unaffected. Coincidentally, Lin Xiang needed a bicycle for the countryside. If he were to buy one, a Phoenix brand bicycle would cost about 120 yuan, and the key point was that he also needed a bicycle ticket. Nowadays, bicycle tickets were hard to come by. If he wanted to buy one on the black market, a bicycle ticket would cost 100 yuan. Adding in the miscellaneous things from the Chen family, Lin Xiang exclaimed that this trip was not a loss. As for the act of taking things, Lin Xiang didn't feel he was immoral or ashamed at all. After all, this was what the Chen family owed him. In his previous life, how much blood had the Chen family sucked from him? When he was fawning over Chen Shanshan, how many good things had he sent to the Chen family? After counting the goods, the night was deep. Having been busy all night, Lin Xiang lay on the bed and fell fast asleep. The next morning, sharp screams came from the Chen family's place. So much so that the neighbors in their compound were alarmed by the noise and went over to see what was going on. Then the neighbors in the compound saw what had happened to the Chen family. The Chen family's house was empty. Overnight, it had been completely emptied. The Chen family had probably been robbed, but which thief was so capable that he could silently empty the entire house in one night? Seeing the empty house, Chen's mother sat down on the ground and cried out, "It's over, it's over." All the family's savings were hidden in the wardrobe. Besides the money, there isn't even a bowl left in the house. Chen's mother sat on the ground, crying and then cursing, "Which damn bastard, with no conscience, is so cruel as to steal everything from my house? Not even leaving a bowl. Are you even human? Worse than an animal." Lin Xiang, who had just gotten up, sneezed a few times and thought, "Who the hell is cursing me behind my back?" Soon, Lin Xiang thought of something. Needless to say, it must be the Chen family cursing him behind his back. If it weren't for worrying about being listed as a suspect, Lin Xiang even wanted to go see the Chen family's reaction today in person. At this moment, Chen's father and mother reacted differently. Chen's mother vented her emotions by wailing, while Chen's father wore a gloomy face, pondering what exactly was going on. Why was it that no other family in the neighborhood had been robbed, but only their Chen family, and it was stolen so thoroughly? Just as Chen's father was thinking about this, several neighbors helped Chen Jianxi back. Chen Jianxi was beaten black and blue, and even had 2 teeth knocked out. Chen Jianxi came back, wanting to complain to his family that some damn person had put a sack over his head last night, beaten him up, and left him outside to feed the mosquitoes all night. But when he got back, he didn't expect the situation at home to be even worse. It had been emptied by thieves. When Chen's father saw Chen Jianxi beaten, combined with the house being emptied, he guessed that his son had probably offended someone. So Chen's father quickly asked Chen Jianxi who he had offended in the past few days, causing such a big disaster for the family. Chen Jianxi immediately thought of Lin Xiang. In the past few days, besides having a little unpleasantness with Lin Xiang, he hadn't had any conflicts with anyone else. Hearing that it might be Lin Xiang's doing, Chen Shanshan's face turned ugly. How could Lin Xiang do such a thing? Chen's father immediately called the police, and after the Chen family reported it to the police, Lin Xiang undoubtedly underwent police interrogation. The police searched Lin Xiang's residence thoroughly, but found none of the Chen family's belongings. Moreover, the Chen family had no other evidence, only suspicion of him. Without any evidence, Lin Xiang naturally could not be convicted or punished. The Chen family couldn't accept this result, but there was nothing they could do. Just as the Chen family was furious about the theft, new troubles came one after another. Feng Youguang brought staff from the Educated Youth Office to the Chen family's door. "Is this Chen Jianxi's home?" Seeing Feng Youguang approach, the Chen family didn't recognize him. "Who are you?" Feng Youguang stated his purpose directly. "I am Feng Youguang, director of the Educated Youth Office. Based on my investigation, Chen Jianxi has no job and has reached the age for going to the countryside, so we have arranged to sign him up for the program. I hope he will cooperate well, respond to the country's call, and support rural construction." Hearing Feng Youguang's words, the Chen family was instantly stunned. "What? You're going to arrange for our Jianxi to go to the countryside? This won't do. How can our Jianxi go to the countryside?" When Chen's mother heard that her son was to go to the countryside, she immediately couldn't accept it. She had only this one son, and how could she bear to let Chen Jianxi suffer? Once he went to the countryside, she had heard about the hard life there. There were children in their compound who had gone as educated youth, and every time they came back to visit, they cried, asking their parents to find a way to arrange for them to return to the city. But once they went to the countryside, returning to the city was not easy. Chen Jianxi had been raised as a precious treasure, held in the palm of their hands. No matter who went, he couldn't go. Feng Youguang didn't give Chen's mother a chance to refuse. With a stern face, he said seriously, "Comrade, This is a national policy call. If everyone were like you, unwilling to let their children go to the countryside to build rural areas, how could our country develop and progress? Which unit are you from? Your ideological awareness has problems. I need to report this to your leaders. As soon as Feng Youguang said this, the Chen family's faces turned ashen. In this era, being labeled as having problematic ideological awareness was very serious. If this escalated to the workplace, it could lead to dismissal. Although Chen's mother didn't work, Chen's father did. If Feng Youguang really talked to the leaders of Chen's father's unit, he might indeed lose his job. Knowing that someone in the family had to go to the countryside, and unwilling to let her son suffer, Chen's mother had no choice but to discuss with Feng Youguang. Director Feng, our family will definitely respond to the call and let the child go to the countryside. It's just that my son is still young. How about this? Let my daughter go in my son's place. As long as someone goes, it's fine. And my daughter has a job. I'll have her transfer it to my son, so then my son will have a job and won't be in the category of those who need to go. When Chen Shanshan heard that she was to go to the countryside in place of Chen Jianxi, her legs suddenly went weak, and she almost fell to the ground. She looked at her parents with unwillingness. Although she was the older sister, she was only 1 year older than Chen Jianxi. Just because she was a daughter, were her parents so partial to her younger brother that they would let her suffer in his place? Chen Shanshan usually doted on her brother, but people are selfish. Who doesn't think of themselves first? When Chen Jianxi heard his mother's words, he breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, when he heard Feng Youguang say he had to go to the countryside, he was scared to death. Life in the countryside was not a life for humans. He didn't want to go. Originally, according to their family's plan, they were going to have Lin Zhang give up his job so that he wouldn't have to go. Who knew that Lin Ziyang suddenly went crazy and cut off contact with his sister? Unable to get Lin Ziyang's job, Chen Jianxi could only take over his second sister Chen Shanshan's job, letting her go to the countryside in his place. As the only son in the family, under the influence of his parents' thinking, Chen Jianxi was used to the whole family sacrificing for him. As for letting his sister give up her job and go to the countryside in his place, Chen Jianxi didn't feel there was anything wrong with it at all. When Feng Youguang heard Chen's mother's words, his face immediately turned ugly. Previously, Lin Ziyang had said that Chen's mother was partial and hoped he would give up his job to Chen Jianxi. This time, he witnessed Chen's mother's partiality with his own eyes. Having failed to get Lin Ziyang's job, now she was setting her sights on her own daughter's job. The key point was that Chen Jianxi didn't object at all, clearly acquiescing to his parents' decision. Such a partial parent naturally raised a child with a selfish and self-centered personality. Feng Youguang felt that Lin Ziyang was right. Such a person must go to the countryside to be tempered. Feng Youguang said coldly to Chen's mother, "The work of educated youth going to the countryside is in response to the country's call, according to the policies set by the higher-ups. It's not up to you to decide as you please. I have already submitted Chen Jianxi's name for the program, and it cannot be changed. He is to go in 1 week. Your family should prepare." Feng Youguang's words exploded like a bombshell in their minds. "What? Director Feng, can't you change it? Can't you change my son's name to my daughter's?" Chen's mother anxiously grabbed Feng Youguang's sleeve and asked excitedly, "Do you think the policy is made by you, and you have the final say? All right, stop with the nonsense. I'm just here to notify you, not to discuss with you. In 7 days, Chen Jianxi will come to the educated youth office, and we will arrange to send him off on the train to the countryside." After saying this, Feng Youguang shook off Chen's mother's hand that was pulling his sleeve and left with the other staff from the educated youth office. Chen's mother sat down on the ground and began to wail. Chen's father's brows were tightly furrowed. The only happy one was Chen Shanshan. Since the quota couldn't be changed, she wouldn't have to go to the countryside in her brother's place. But seeing her parents' reaction, Chen Shanshan didn't dare show her happiness. Chen Jianxi, on the other hand, couldn't accept this result. He didn't want to go to the countryside. If he went, not only would he suffer, but his relationship with Li would also be broken. After all, once he went to the countryside, he didn't know when he could return to the city, and Li couldn't wait for him that long in the city. Although Chen Jianxi was a grown man, he started wailing without any dignity. "Dad, Mom, you need to think of a way for me quickly. I don't want to go to the countryside. I really don't want to go." Chen's mother couldn't think of a solution, so she said to Chen's father, "Old Chen, you think of a way quickly. See if you can find some connections or pull some strings. Don't let Jianxi go to the countryside. Our Jianxi has been pampered since childhood. How could he endure the hardships of the countryside?" Chen's father sighed and said in a deep voice, "Aren't I thinking of a way? This matter is probably not easy to handle. I'll first see if I can find some connections. Chen Jianxi could only hope that his father would find connections to pull strings so he wouldn't have to go. Unfortunately, Chen Jianxi asked around but couldn't find suitable connections to solve this matter. Not to mention the Chen family. Even the children of the factory director at Chen's father's factory couldn't avoid going to the countryside. If this matter were easy to solve, no young person in the city with any connections would have to go. The most troublesome thing this time was that Chen Jianxi's name had already been submitted by the director of the Educated Youth Office. If the name hadn't been reported yet, it might be easier to solve. Now that the name is reported, it's hard to solve. After a busy day, the Chen family could only accept Chen Jianxi's going to the countryside. Chen Jianxi made a fuss at home, and Chen's mother vented her anger on Chen Shanshan. It was all because this daughter was useless. If only she had coaxed Lin Ziyang to transfer the job to Chen Jianxi 2 days earlier, today's incident wouldn't have happened. Chen Shanshan was scolded fiercely by Chen's mother and felt very aggrieved. At the same time, Chen Shanshan complained about Lin Ziyang in her heart. Clearly, this man had been flattering and supporting her before. Why did he suddenly change his face? Lin Ziyang didn't care about the Chen family's affairs. These 2 days, Lin Ziyang was preparing for going to the countryside. Lin Ziyang tried to buy all the things he needed after going to the countryside in the capital city. For example, hunting tools for hunting in the mountains. The place he was going to this time was Heilongjiang province. Although Lin Ziyang had never been to Heilongjiang, he had heard from his parents that besides the cold, the resources there were quite abundant, especially the many prey in the mountains. As long as you have the skill, you don't have to worry about meat. In his previous life, after going to the countryside, Lin Ziyang participated in the malicious hunting. Because materials were scarce in the 1970s, the place he went to was not rich. Fortunately, it was next to the mountains, and with good luck, he could hunt wild game from the mountains. So every autumn and winter, when there was little farm work, the commune would organize the militia to go hunting in the mountains, and the prey caught could be distributed to the commune members. In order to let Chen Shanshan live a good life in the city and to send her meat to eat, Lin Ziyang participated in the militia's hunting activities every year. He was quick-witted and learned fast. Following the militia, he learned hunting skills quickly. His marksmanship was extremely accurate, basically as long as wild game appeared in front of him. There was no possibility of escape. Because of his good marksmanship and skill, Lin Ziyang could get a lot of wild game every year. But at that time, the fool didn't want to eat or drink himself, and sent all the saved things to Chen Shanshan. Now, looking back at his previous life's behavior, Lin Ziyang only felt it was ridiculous. For a slut like Chen Shanshan, he could stoop to such a level. It is said that a simp will not die a good death, and Lin Ziyang now deeply agrees with this sentence. With his brain in his previous life, he deserved to be tricked by that bitch Chen Shanshan. Now the king of hell gave him a chance to be reborn. In this new life, Lin Ziyang wants to live for himself and for his parents and family. Through his connections in the black market, Lin Ziyang was lucky enough to buy a shotgun. But the price was not cheap. It cost him over 200. Although he spent a bit more money, with this gun, Lin Ziyang's meat supply after going to the countryside is guaranteed. Overall, it's not a loss. If he hunts a lot, Lin Ziyang might even be able to sell the wild game from hunting on the black market for money. Now with the space, Lin Ziyang can easily sell goods on the black market. If he didn't have the space, he might worry about the risk of exposure. Once caught for speculation, he would have to go to jail. With the space, he doesn't have to worry about being caught at all. At worst, he can just go into the space. Meat is in short supply these days. If Lin Ziyang can get meat to sell on the black market, he can quickly earn back the money for the shotgun. Lin Ziyang also bought some other tools needed for hunting. In this way, of the 1,000 yuan from selling the job, only 200 or 300 were left. Fortunately, he had gone to the Chen family to take some money last time, so Lin Ziyang still had a considerable surplus. After preparing the necessary items, it was time for Lin Ziyang to go to the countryside. Early in the morning, Lin Ziyang packed his luggage, and the landlady came to collect the house on time. After handing over the house, Lin Ziyang carried his bundle to the Educated Youth Office. As soon as Lin Ziyang went out, he saw Xue Kai coming to his place. Seeing Xue Kai come, Lin Ziyang was not surprised. In his previous life, when he went to the countryside, Xue Kai had come to see him off. At that time, he had clearly transferred the job to Chen Jianxi, but on the day of going to the countryside, Chen Shanshan didn't even see him off. At that time, he could only comfort himself. Maybe Chen Shanshan was busy with something, so she was delayed. Now thinking about it again, Chen Shanshan had only used him from beginning to end, and used him as a matter of course, never caring about his efforts. After using him, she threw him aside. How could she care about him? When Shuai Kai came, he carried a large bundle. Inside were things prepared by Shuai Kai and his family. Shuai Kai prepared some money and ration tickets for this brother, and Shuai's mother helped Lin Ziyang prepare cotton shoes for winter, a scarf, gloves, and a set of cotton-padded clothes. In addition, Shuai's mother made some food for Lin Ziyang to eat on the way, including a lunchbox with meat-filled dumplings, 10 tea eggs, and some extra flatbreads. This time, Lin Ziyang sold the job to Shuai Fong, and the Shuai family was very grateful. Moreover, Lin Ziyang and Shuai Kai were childhood friends who grew up together. Now that his parents were not around, no one helped him prepare the things needed for going to the countryside. So on the day Lin Ziyang went to the countryside, they specially prepared a lot of supplies for him. Shuai Kai accompanied Lin Ziyang to the educated youth office. Besides Lin Ziyang, there were many other educated youth going to the countryside today. But they were not necessarily going to the same place. They were scattered across the country. A place like Heilongjiang province was considered a good destination compared to other places. The northeast was indeed cold, but fortunately, it had abundant resources. As long as you are diligent, you won't go hungry there. Moreover, the time for working in the fields is not long. Most of the time you can stay at home and idle through the winter. But places like the northwest were not good. Not only were they short of food, but also water. If you were assigned to such a place, you would go hungry, and even bathing would be inconvenient. Moreover, poor mountains and bad waters breed unruly people. The locals there don't get along well with each other, let alone with outside educated youth. If you go there, you will definitely be bullied even more. This time, because Lin Ziyang had communicated with Feng Youguang in advance, Chen Jinshi's destination was the northwest. When that kid goes to the northwest, Lin Ziyang can already foresee his future days. So letting Chen Jianxi die is not as satisfying as leaving him alive to be tortured slowly. After Lin Ziyang reported at the educated youth office, he waited for the other educated youth to arrive, and then boarded the train to depart. Shuai Kai stayed with Lin Ziyang and took out the money and ration tickets he had prepared for him from his pocket. Ziyang, the countryside is not like the capital. You should take more money and ration tickets with you, so life there will be easier. I don't have much left on hand, so I can only scrape together this much for you. Shuai Kai gave Lin Ziyang 200 yuan and a stack of ration tickets. In his previous life, Shuai Kai also prepared this much for Lin Ziyang. It can be said that this good brother was truly sincere to him. But for the sake of that slut Chen Shanshan, he broke off with Shuai Kai. Lin Ziyang cursed himself in his heart for being a real bastard. Lin Ziyang accepted the ration tickets Shuai Kai handed over, but he didn't accept the 200 yuan. It's easy to buy these ration tickets on the black market in the capital, but not necessarily in Heilongjiang province. Because the capital is the capital, most people are workers, and the welfare benefits there are high. Workers can get some ration tickets every month. The surplus ones they don't need will appear on the black market for resale. But it's different in Heilongjiang province. The economic conditions are poor, so the supply is poor, and it's not easy to buy the ration tickets you need. So Lin Ziyang didn't stand on ceremony with Shuai Kai for the ration tickets he gathered, but he was unwilling to accept the 200 yuan he gathered. Shuai Kai, take the money back. I sold the job and still have a lot left. You're not young anymore. When you find a girlfriend in the city, you'll need money. Keep this money for yourself. But Shuai Kai directly stuffed the 200 yuan into Lin Ziyang's pocket. I haven't even found a girlfriend yet. It's too early to talk about that now. And I have a job. I get a salary every month. If I really find a girlfriend, my salary is enough to spend on the girl. But if we get married, that's a big expense. You have to give the girl a bride price, right? It's best to keep more money on hand. Shuai Kai glared at Lin Ziyang. Lin Ziyang, why are you, a grown man, being so hesitant? Since I've gathered it for you, just take it. As for my marriage, don't I still have my parents to rely on? I don't count on this little money in my hands. Since Shuai Kai had already said so much, Lin Ziyang smiled and accepted the money he had stuffed into his pocket. When he went to the countryside, if he could get any wild game or good stuff in Heilongjiang province, Lin Ziyang could send some to Shuai Kai. Since his brother had been so devoted to him, Lin Ziyang naturally couldn't be ungrateful. Lin Ziyang waited for about an hour, and all the educated youth going to the countryside this time had arrived. There were over 100 people in total, both male and female. Regardless of gender, most people had worried expressions. Some female comrades with weaker mental resilience directly started crying, shouting that they didn't want to go to the countryside. Compared to these people, Lin Ziyang was much more calm. In fact, he even looked forward to going to the countryside early to see his parents and sister sooner. After his parents had an accident, Lin Ziyang quickly distanced himself from them and cut off relations. He felt that his parents must have a thorn in their hearts. After his parents returned to the city that year, they had maintained a distant attitude towards him, not as close as before. His sister Lin Ziyun was even more so. She simply didn't want to see her brother anymore. In this life, everything was still in time. His parents had only been sent down for a year, and his sister hadn't been bullied by that scumbag yet. He could take better care of them and make up for them. When the Educated Youth Office saw that everyone had arrived, they began to assign the educated youth to their destinations. Those assigned to good places breathed a sigh of relief, while those assigned to remote and harsh areas all had gloomy faces. Those assigned to the northeast, gather here. Come on, line up and get on the bus one by one. The staff of the Educated Youth Office started shouting at the top of their lungs. Lin Ziyang walked towards the staff member. Under the arrangement of the staff, the educated youth boarded the train heading to the northeast one by one. Shui Kai helped Lin Ziyang carry his luggage onto the train. Lin Ziyang carried a large military backpack and held a small bundle in his hand. The Shui family had also prepared a bundle for him, making 3 bundles in total. The luggage was a bit much, but most educated youth going to the countryside had bags and bundles, so Lin Ziyang didn't stand out. After finding his seat, Lin Ziyang put his luggage away, then said to Shui Kai, "Seeing me off here is enough. You go back. We'll write to each other often and stay in touch." Shui Kai nodded. "Okay, when you arrive, write to me. If you need anything or have anything to take care of, you can write to me, and I'll do my best to help you later." Lin Ziyang and Shui Kai had such a close relationship that he naturally wouldn't be polite with him. After Shui Kai got off the train, Lin Ziyang sat in his window seat and closed his eyes to rest, waiting for the train to depart. More educated youth boarded one after another. While Lin Ziyang was resting with his eyes closed, he heard a female voice beside him. "Hey, move over, let me sit inside." Lin Ziyang felt the voice was somewhat familiar, and when he opened his eyes, he found it was indeed an old acquaintance of his. This old acquaintance was none other than Zhou Yubei's sister, Zhou Qinqin. In his previous life, because of the relationship between Chen Shanshan and Zhou Yubei, the two had become close friends. Of course, the friendship was fake. The real relationship was sister-in-law and sister-in-law. But at that time, Lin Ziyang didn't know that Chen Shanshan had cheated on him behind his back. Lin Ziyang was a simp for Chen Shanshan and was extremely generous with Zhou Qinqin, her friend. Previously, whenever Chen Shanshan made excuses to go out, she said she was going shopping with Zhou Qinqin. Now thinking about it, it was very likely that she used Zhou Qinqin as cover to fool around with Zhou Yubei. Looking at Zhou Qinqin in front of him, Lin Ziyang thought it was quite a coincidence. He didn't expect to run into her during the trip to the countryside, and he wondered if she would go to the same place as him. But at this moment, Zhou Qinqin didn't know Lin Ziyang. He had only been Chen Shanshan's simp, and Chen Shanshan disdained to introduce him to her friends, let alone tell Zhou Qinqin. Lin Ziyang glanced at Zhou Qinqin indifferently, then closed his eyes again. His dismissive and contemptuous attitude made her very angry. Zhou Qinqin angrily questioned Lin Ziyang. "Hey, did you hear me? Let me in. I want to sit by the window. I get carsick." Lin Ziyang was amused by Zhou Qinqin's presumptuous attitude. "You want me to give way just because you say so? This is my seat. Why should I give it to you? You're a man. Why are you so stingy? I'm a woman, so it's only right for you to give it to me, isn't it?" Zhou Qinqin said with a self-righteous attitude, deliberately raising her voice so that others around could hear. She didn't believe that Lin Ziyang, a grown man, wouldn't care about face and refused to give up his seat. Lin Ziyang squinted slightly, thinking, is she trying to morally blackmail me? He had lived a second life. Why would he be afraid of this? Humph. As long as he had no morals, no one could morally blackmail him. Just as Lin Ziyang was about to speak, a male comrade sitting in the window seat next to Lin Ziyang chimed in. "Yeah, comrade, you're a man. Don't be so stingy. What's the harm in accommodating a female comrade?" Lin Ziyang glanced at him indifferently. "You're so generous. Then give your seat to her. I'm stingy, and my ideological awareness can't compare to yours." The other person was choked by Lin Ziyang's words. Zhou Qinqin felt that there was little hope with Lin Ziyang, so she looked at the male comrade who had spoken up for her. "Comrade, how about you give me your seat? Some people don't have any sense of responsibility as men. You're clearly different." This male comrade actually didn't want to give up his seat either, but if he didn't now, wouldn't he be slapping his own face? He had no choice but to force a smile and give his seat to Zhou Qinqin. Zhou Qinqin thanked the male comrade who gave up his seat, then made a few sarcastic remarks to Lin Ziyang. As the educated youth boarded one after another, the train started moving 20 minutes later. This time they were going to Heilongjiang province, and the journey alone would take 2 days and 2 nights. Lin Ziyang thought of his parents and sister who had been sent down, wishing he could arrive immediately. In the 1970s, there were no entertainment facilities. So as the train moved forward, the bored-educated youth started chatting together. The carriage Lin Ziyang was in was filled with educated youth going to the countryside, all of similar age, so they could easily strike up conversations. Next to Lin Ziyang sat a relatively thin male comrade. He was a bit skinny, but his personality was quite cheerful. He took the initiative to talk to Lin Ziyang. "Comrade, my name is Tu Weigua. What's yours? Where are you going to the countryside this time?" Seeing the other party take the initiative to talk to him, Lin Ziyang politely said, "My name is Lin Ziyang. I'm going to Anping County, Danyang City, Heilongjiang Province." Upon hearing Lin Ziyang's words, Tu Weigua immediately became excited. "What a coincidence. I'm also going to Anping County, Danyang City, Heilongjiang Province. Since we're going to the same place, we can look out for each other in the future." Lin Ziyang saw a clear innocence in Tu Weigua's eyes and thought that this guy probably didn't have any ulterior motives. For someone like this without much scheming, Lin Ziyang was willing to befriend. Having someone to look out for in the countryside was indeed better than being alone. Tu Weigua felt that going to the countryside with Lin Ziyang was fate, and they could be together in the future, so he chatted a bit more. This guy was a bit of a chatterbox. Lin Ziyang didn't say much. But Tu Weigua's mouth never stopped. He even voluntarily explained why he had come to the countryside. He was the second child in his family, with an older brother and younger siblings. As the second child, his parents didn't love him, so when the family had a quota for going to the countryside, they naturally pushed him out. After hearing Tu Weigua's situation, Lin Ziyang felt much better after the comparison. Originally, he thought it was pretty miserable to be the scapegoat, but Tu Weigua, the second child who was unloved by his parents, didn't seem much better off. At noon, when it was time to eat, Tu Weigua took out 2 pancakes from his bag and handed one to Lin Ziyang. Seeing that Lin Ziyang was as thin as himself, Tu Weigua subconsciously thought that Lin Ziyang's family conditions must be as difficult as his own. Looking at the pancake Tu Weigua handed over, Lin Ziyang thought for a moment and took it, then took out his own lunchbox, which contained pork-filled dumplings that Mother Shui had prepared for him. Lin Ziyang gave half of the dumplings to Tu Weigua. Tu Weigua quickly said, "Comrade Lin, how can I accept this? These are white flour dumplings. I can't eat yours. I shared my flatbread with you, so why can't I share my dumplings with you? Come on, eat up," Lin Ziyang urged, not wanting to hear the others fussing.